Nestled in the oak-studded hills above Santa Cruz, California, Pasatiempo Golf Club is not just another course. It's a shrine to the golden age of golf course architecture. The very name Pasatiempo means hobby or pastime in Spanish, evoking a place meant for pleasure and leisure. Here, rolling sandy ridges and deep barrancas meet the vision of two legends, Marion Hollins and Dr. Alistair MacKenzie.
And I did have a real passion for MacKenzie first, but I didn't learn about it until our original historian, Bob Beck, told us about Marion Hollins. So that was one of his jobs, or his passions, was to elevate Marion Hollins. So I was pretty proud to learn our course was founded by Marion Hollins, a woman, and that we had such a great architect in MacKenzie, because that's what drew us to become members here in the first place.
It's a living museum of design principles and heroic shots. Hollins' daring spirit and MacKenzie's genius intertwined to produce a course that still reverberates with poetic beauty and strategic brilliance. In an era when sports were largely male domains, Hollins stood apart as a champion golfer, entrepreneur, and course developer. Having won the 1921 US Women's Amateur and spearheaded the creation of courses like the Women's National Golf and Tennis Club, she earned a reputation as a fearless doer and dreamer. By the late 1920s, after helping develop Cypress Point, including the infamous moment where she created the par 3 16th,
the idea was all hers. She wanted it to be a par 3. Seth Rayner had said, well, this is a par 4. So when MacKenzie took over, he said, well, yeah, this should be a par 4. And she goes, well, no, I think it'll be a 3. And so she, in those clubs of that time, dropped a ball and hit it, with 220-yard carry, and it landed on the spot where the green is today. And her niece, who's Phyllis, says, and probably she dropped 2 more and did the same thing just to prove her point.
Marion had a grand new dream, a world-class golf club of her own on the West Coast. On January the 12th, 1928, she announced her plans for Pasatiempo, a comprehensive sporting resort with an 18-hole championship course at its crown jewel. Her goal was to build the best course west of Mississippi, and to do this, she enlisted the one architect she knew she could trust, Dr. Alistair MacKenzie. MacKenzie shared Hollins' passion for strategic and artful golf. The collaboration between the two was marked by mutual respect. She had been associated with me in 3 golf courses. Not only her own ideas valuable, but she is thoroughly conversant with the character of work I like, MacKenzie wrote, insisting on Hollins' involvement in every project. I do not know of any man who has sounder ideas, he added.
And they were tremendous friends, and it's a shame that he passed away so early, because I think had they lived longer, they would have done even more together. Although I know this was her favorite playground, I think they probably would have done more just because they were those kinds of people. She wanted to have horse trails, and so she had to make sure all that was considered when he was designing the course.
The site Hollins chose was a rolling expanse of sandy hills and ravines overlooking Monterrey Bay, terrain ripe for MacKenzie's creative touch. He saw natural beauty to preserve and dramatic contours to accentuate, in line with his core design philosophy that all natural beauty should be preserved, natural hazards utilised, and artificiality minimised. When Pasatiempo officially opened on September the 8th, 1929, it marked the last great golf course of the Roaring Twenties, coming just weeks before the stock market crash. Hollins orchestrated an opening day foursome for the ages. Herself, the great Bobby Jones, British amateur champion Cyril Tolley, and women's champ Glenna Collette. Over 2,000 spectators gathered, winding through the hills to glimpse the new masterpiece. Bobby Jones was so impressed with the course, as lore has it, Pasatiempo planted the seed for him to hire MacKenzie to design Augusta National shortly thereafter. Indeed, MacKenzie would later apply in Augusta many ideas refined at Pasatiempo. At Pasatiempo, every hole reveals a facet of MacKenzie's genius and Hollins' influence. The course unfolds in 2 loops of 9, each hole distinct in character. Natural hazards, the sandy barrancas and creeks, are woven into strategy, and bold bunkering frame shots with theatrical flair. MacKenzie's design principles are evident for all to see: heroic carries, deceptive contours, all while stirring the golfer's imagination. The third hole is as brutal as it is beautiful. An uphill par 3 that plays longer than its yardage and tests the metal from start to finish. Over 210 yards up the side of a ridge, it rises towards a green perched high and guarded by gaping bunkers. Many architects may have seen this severe slope as a limitation, a difficult and uninspiring piece of land, but MacKenzie turned it into a thrilling one-shotter. A cross bunker, about 150 yards out, recently restored to MacKenzie's original plan, juts into view, obscuring the front. The dramatic bunkering along the left accentuates this shape and makes the hole visually intimidating, yet there is an opening for those who choose to run a shot up. The putting surface is expansive yet subtly contoured. It was designed to accept daring long iron shots. In fact, Doak noted the number 3 ranks right up there with the 5th at Pine Valley among the best long par 3s. Standing on the tee, the golfer feels both trepidation and awe, a hallmark of MacKenzie's style, making a hard hole look even harder, with bunkers that frame the target but don't unfairly penalise an errant shot. The 6th is a 567-yard par 5 that climbs through the narrow chute of trees, demanding a focused drive and rewarding brave play. MacKenzie's former home still stands along the left side of the fairway, a stone's throw from the layup area. One can imagine the good doctor on his porch watching golfers grapple with his creation. The strategic choice on the 6th is whether to lay up short or go for it in 2, bringing in the out of bounds on the left. The fairway undulates and bends slightly left. A solid drive sets the possibility to attack. Yet MacKenzie's design doesn't give up that easy. The green is elevated and segmented into subtle quadrants. Approaches must be precise to find the correct section of MacKenzie's layered green, or else face devilish putts. The 6th hole encapsulates MacKenzie's risk-reward ethos. It tempts bold play but punishes lack of execution, and as you walk up the rise towards the flag, you pass the modest house where MacKenzie spent his final years, a poignant reminder that the course was truly his home. The back 9 begins with a branking bang. Hole 10, a bold par 4 that dramatises Pasatiempo's defining feature, the barranca. This deep, winding ravine cuts through the 10th tee shot, meaning the first order of business is an epic carry over the chasm to the fairway beyond.
The architecture plays off it perfectly. There's just different shots all around. It tests the variability in the long game plus the short game. It's, few courses have both of them. It's a very underrated driving course. There's huge, like if you hit a weak fade off of number 10, you've got 230 in down the hill. You can just barely see over the crest. But if you hit kind of slight pull down the left fairway line, well, you've probably caught the speed slot and you're only 160 in. That's a 70-yard difference right there. Just from slightly different quality of shot, and that's the kind of stuff that's out there. And
MacKenzie's routing on 10 embraces the land's natural drama and a hint of what's to come on the remainder of the back 9. If the 10th introduced the barranca, the 11th turns it into a full strategic mind game. Wildly hailed as one of the finest uphill par 4s anywhere, the 11th measures just under 400 yards but plays substantially longer due to the climb. The hole is split on a diagonal by the same snaking barranca. It runs from near the tee on the left-hand side, all the way up through the middle, splitting the fairway. MacKenzie's genius here is length alone won't conquer this hazard. Strategy will.
Who finishes an 18th hole with a par 3? Nobody. Who has a hole that plays 100 feet up in elevation? The 11th hole. That's 10-story building you're climbing in 300, 420 feet. Nobody has that. Kevin Sampson wrote on the opening day in Monterrey Life magazine, he said, and I quote, "There are canyons and natural features which may thrill the adventurous to disregard the apprehensive, however, can find a safer route around the calamity, buying their curiosity at a cost of a stroke. In fact, there are amusing problems whereby the man with an agile mind may outshine the long hitter."
The 16th at Pasatiempo was Mackenzie's favourite. It features a multi-layered green perched above the branca and guarded by one of golf's most dramatic bunkers. The tee shot is a semi-blind adventure, and you drive out from a valley over a humpback fairway, not entirely seeing where your ball will finish and what's to come. Once over the rise, the hole reveals a dramatic second act. The approach is played over a gaping branca to a huge, multi-tiered green surface draped over the opposite hill. This green is as intimidating as it is vast. It drops an astonishing amount from back to front, nearly tumbling down the slope. The 16th encapsulates everything that Mackenzie cherished: heroism, strategic options, natural beauty. It's no wonder that Mackenzie chose Pasatiempo's 16th as his eternal resting place, scattering his ashes over the green when he passed in 1934. In these parts of the world, the sun dips towards the Pacific and the shadows lengthen across Pasatiempo's final holes, and one cannot help feel the presence of its two visionaries who gave life to the course. Marion Hollins' spirit in every ambitious carry and every graceful feature, this course was a dream made real, a testament to what a determined woman could achieve in 1920s America. Her name may not have been as widely heralded in the decades after, but today her legacy is fully recognised. A pioneer who developed and owned Pasatiempo, the first planned sporting complex in North America, whose instincts for great golf land were proven uncannily right. Alister Mackenzie's soul likewise resides in these fairways and greens. Whilst Pasatiempo may not be the course Mackenzie will most be remembered for, it is where he decided to live out his life. In a moving tribute, a contemporary writer noted that whilst Mackenzie died, he did not perish like mere mortal men. He became the places which he built and found a way to live on through his work. The legacy of Pasatiempo is profoundly human. The story of a trailblazing woman and a genius architect who dared to dream big and create beauty. Their partnership resulted in a course that's not only stood the test of time, but become the very essence of time preserved. Unusually for America, Pasatiempo is a semi-private course, allowing visitors to access and pay a green fee to play the course without the introduction of a member. This allows the course to remain a constant source of pleasure to any and all who love the game, and a monument to what vision and artistry can achieve. In Pasatiempo, Marion Hollins and Alister Mackenzie's spirit live on, inspiring new generations of golfers and aspiring golf architecture enthusiasts for many generations to come.
David Owen, he wrote The Making of the Masters. He republished it, a new edition, and he had a whole nother chapter on Marion Hollins because he was able to get into Augusta's archive and write this book. He said that Mackenzie wanted to send her to do, because Mackenzie couldn't afford it by this time, the travel back and forth. And so he did. He sent Marion. Cliff Roberts didn't want her to come. David Owen writes this. He didn't want her to come. He said, "No, you come." And he goes, "I know of no other man that has sounder ideas than Marion Hollins." So she goes, "She's coming and she's going to do it." And so she sort of gave it the final blessing also.